Hi, I'm Kirsten, fellow mom, and your biggest cheerleader in all things motherhood and parenting. My husband and I co founded Parker Baby Co. with one mission in mind: to nurture and grow strong families. And that mission continues right here on Rooted Conversations. So grab a cozy drink, take a deep breath, and remember, you're not alone in this journey. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Rooted Conversations podcast. I am Kirsten Hebner, the co-owner of Parker Baby Co. and Parker Kids. And today I am here with Juli Heiger. And I am just so excited to talk with Juli. She is here to talk about something so important and probably something that we all have stories and have seen or been close to somebody who's been affected by swim and water safety. And so this is just a really important subject that we're going to talk about today. And I'm really excited to get to know Juli and ask some questions and learn more from her. So Juli, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids and 2 grandkids.
Oh, how old are your
Yes.
grandkids?
My little granddaughter will be 3 at the end of August, and my little grandson just turned 1 in May.
Oh, is
So,
it the best
yes.
being a grandma?
Oh, it is incredible. It's truly what they say, the best part of parenting is getting to be a grandparent.
Some days on the hard days of parenting, I used to tell myself like, "Oh, I can't wait to go to Disneyland with my kids." That's what I held on to for a long time. Now I'm like, "I can't wait to be a grandparent." That's what I'm
Yeah.
holding on to.
Yeah,
So,
it's fun and it's true what they say, like, when you see your grandkids, it's like you're looking at your own children and just have a little bit more patience and,
yeah, understanding.
knowledge yourself as just a human. So,
Yes, for sure. Gosh.
yeah.
Yep. I mean,
Yes.
the things you learn about it yourself as a parent.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
So, how long have you been so you're a swim teacher?
I am a swim instructor as well as I am in the education business as well. I'm an instructional coach, but have been a long time educator. But I have been working at Genesis teaching swimming lessons. For it's been like 3 to 4 years, if not more. And I was a pool rat, I would call myself growing up. My first job was as a lifeguard when I was going to be a freshman in high school. And
Mm.
I even was a lifeguard for an internship for Disney World.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes. Yeah.
Um, so tell me about what's Genesis? Tell me more about that.
Genesis is just a fitness club that we have in St. Joseph,
Okay.
Missouri. They're all over, but
Mhm.
that's just the club that I work out of,
Okay.
and we offer group lessons as well as private individual lessons. And I just got linked up through there because, well, my son needed to join the club so he could take tennis lessons when he was in high school. And I was swimming laps, and I just was approached by, at that time, the manager of the swim department and asked if I would be interested and available to teach some swimming lessons, and went through their onboarding process and have been
Mm,
with them ever since. So,
nice. Yeah, and then
yeah.
you had mentioned in our text messages that you also teach you have a pool in your backyard
Yeah, yes.
and you do some
We
lessons?
have an above ground pool there, and I do teach lessons out of there as well. It's been a little cool this summer,
Yeah, it has.
but but yes, I do, and I just I'm just very passionate about the water safety and kids being as safe as they can be in the water.
Mhm.
Like you said in the introduction too, I feel like we all probably have a story or have heard of a story. I'm one of those people who, for some reason, well, I'm sure it's because of the algorithm that I have, but
Mhm.
I find families and often find myself, and I pray for them, and try and
Mhm.
support those who do have families who have gone through either near drowning or drowning experiences. And I guess it just makes me realize, especially now with having my grandkids too,
Mhm.
um, just how quickly something can happen. When you think you've taken all precautions,
Mhm.
there's still that m possibility of something happening, so
Right. Right. Isn't it like the number one cause of death in children?
yeah, it's like 1 or 2 depending
2,
on the
yeah.
age group, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Gosh, it is. I do think just every person or every mom at least has a story of a friend or somebody that has had
Yes.
a child either affected or, you know, has been killed in a drowning accident,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
And they're just
Yeah.
horrible stories. Because it
Oh,
is. It's every mom. It's always I looked away for a second or
yes.
I just turned around or a lot of another one too is I thought so and so was watching him and that person thought so and so was watching them. You know,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
it's so horrible.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
ugh.
Yes. Yes.
So ISR is another form. Is that something you teach which is the infant swim?
Infant safety oh,
Yeah, something like
well,
that.
I
But
should know.
yeah, it's like
We
when
do
they like
not.
throw
I have
the
throw the kid in and hope
yeah,
that
throw
they
the
yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's when
Um,
they start really, really young,
yes,
and
yes.
it's just survival.
Correct. And I
Mhm.
do not. I take aspects of that.
Mhm.
Um, I work a lot with special needs children.
Okay.
That's a lot of what my private swimming lessons are. I work with a
Oh,
number of autistic children
amazing.
and just special needs. I've had some with Down syndrome and things like that. My big thing that I take from ISR is really the safest place for kids to get to is their back,
Mhm.
which is also where they're not very comfortable at all. So I
Mhm.
am very passionate about, like, any student that I work with,
Right.
that's something that I really work on with them. Um, and as far as group lesson goes, we do a parent and baby lesson, um, where we work with the parent just to help them get their child comfortable in the water.
Mhm.
But as far as the actual safety portion, you know what I mean? Like you said, like
Right.
where it is truly survival, we don't teach that. But with the students that I do work with, like I work with them as far as when you jump in, something that a skill that we work on is jump in and then get up. And then I want them to learn just to get to their back and float, catch their surroundings, know where they're at, and then be able to turn and get to the side.
Mhm.
Um, because, like I said, that's just that survival, and they just don't feel very comfortable laying on their back.
Right.
So
Right. And the part of getting on your back is like the not panicking too. I think
yes, yes,
you're able to take some deep breaths and
yes,
not panic and kind of see where you're at.
yep,
Um, that's how I've gotten all my kids to not panic was when they can get on their
yes,
back and realize that they can even swim pretty quickly,
yes,
like the
yes.
backstroke. Hmm.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
And it's
And I
not
often think
tiring.
of oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. I often think when I especially start with a student or with a family, um, as an educator, I know how important relationships are, and I'm sure, I could just tell from speaking with you too, you know, I mean, how key that is.
Hmm.
And, I often think, though, how scary that has to be for a child to be sometimes. Like, their parent is like, "Here, go swim with Julie," and the kid's
Right.
like, "I don't know who she is," and then this
Right.
person's telling me to go underwater and lay on my back, and I don't even know
Right.
what to do. So, you know, I mean, those first few lessons, sometimes I feel like it's more so building that rapport with the student and letting them know that they can trust me. I do a lot of Julie's right here. It's okay. I'm not going to let you go unless if I tell you. You know, I mean, just that
Right.
encouragement. Because, like I said, I'm a stranger to a vast majority of the students
Right.
that I do work with.
Yeah.
So
What age do you suggest moms and dads to put their kids in swim lessons? Like what do you
Oh,
think is the perfect or prime? I guess there's no perfect age. What's the prime age for
right.
majority of moms to look at?
Well, I would say as far as actual lessons go, um, 2, it's really just kind of playing and getting
Mhm.
them comfortable, and they can kind of piddle around the pool. But as far as, actual lessons, I've had success like at 3 years old,
Mhm.
depending on 2 to 3, depending on the age level there. But as far as, like, parents working with their kids and being comfortable, the earlier the better. I feel like sometimes, parents' bath time can be scary for scary for kids. So the sooner you can just start and not dousing them with a whole cup of water, maybe.
So, because I want to say, I can't remember the age that I put the twins in. So, as a first time mom, I, and with
Oh,
twins,
yeah.
so like I couldn't take them by myself to a pool because I
Oh, sure.
couldn't watch them, right? So, getting them into swim lessons was extremely
Yes.
important to me. And I looked into ISR probably a little bit too late, and it was just
It is
ridiculously
very
expensive.
expensive,
It's so
yes.
expensive. And it's 15 minutes every day for like
Yes.
3 weeks
Yes.
or something. And when
Yeah.
you have twins, getting out the door for 15
Yes.
minutes, okay,
Yes.
good luck. And then driving, because it was like a
Sure.
half an hour away. So it was just
Yeah, I
impossible. I
get
couldn't do
that.
it for
Yeah.
so many reasons. And then, so I got them to like Dolphins or,
Yes.
a
Yep.
place like that, like a
Yeah.
franchised
Yes. Yeah.
swim school. And I want to say they were probably two. I'm not going to lie. I was also really excited about me sitting out and them and like
Just
having like a half an
yes.
hour
Yes.
of them being
Yeah.
with somebody else. But, I don't, were they two? I don't remember. Everything's a blur. Um, but they they would not get in the
Oh.
water. And I'm out behind the glass and I can't really, and like part of me, I'm not a
Mhm.
like helicopter mom. Part of me is like, just shove
Yes.
them in the water. Like they're fine. Like
Yes,
make them
yes.
get in. And they're like
Yeah.
being too gentle. Like I'm not that mom. I'm not like, oh, like just put them in, like
Yes.
throw them
Yep.
in. Like, and they would not do it. So I took them out and I think I waited like a year. So they're probably around
Mhm.
3, like you were saying, like 3, 3.5. And I pulled Ava aside because Ava was like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, baby, this is not like basketball and volleyball where you get to
Yeah.
decide. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, this is not
Yes.
an
Yep.
option. Like, this is not a hobby thing. You have to learn how to swim. This is not
Yes.
a choice. Like you have to learn how to swim. Because by this point, I had Greta and I was pregnant with my fourth. So I was like, I definitely don't have hands. Even
Sure.
with my husband, we don't have enough hands to go be
Yes.
anywhere
Yeah.
near water. And then by that time, they were perfectly fine
Yeah.
learning. They did great. So I do feel like there was like a when they're ready
Yes.
kind of thing. And maybe I just tried too early, but I don't know. Have you had any experience of like parents being too soft, or
I
do you
have
feel like you do have to just kind of
it
wait?
is a challenge sometimes when you have parents, I think, who have had a bad experience themselves with water. Um, I remember, I think it's been 2 summers ago, like, during our public swimming session, um, there was a parent who was very concerned and very much so worried when you could just tell her physical position and how she held herself when her kids were in lessons, she was not comfortable. And at one point, one of
Right.
her kids, they were okay. They were within a reach of one of the instructors, but she let go of her floaty or whatever she was
Hmm.
on and she went under the water and the mom just lost it. and the little girl was okay. You know what I mean? Like, the little girl popped her
Right,
up
right.
and she was okay, but the mom just seeing that, I think that that just indicated to me that there was that trauma, um, that was there.
Mhm,
Honestly, what
mhm.
I see more of, like what you said, is the parent who's like, "No, just go, just don't," you know what I mean? Like, "No,
Right.
just dunk them
Yeah.
under," or, you know what I mean? Just make them jump in or,
Right. Because I think we're all just so
yes,
scared,
yes,
that we do just we like we need them
yes,
to learn, and we have to and I think, we know that they have to get past that initial, like, fear.
yes.
I don't know. It's because you do see every kid. I haven't seen many kids that were just, like, right away, just like,
Yes,
"Yeah,
just those
I'll,"
fish, and
start.
I guess the other thing that I feel is concerning too is when you do have those kids, like I've had some students, um, who with their special needs, sometimes there is no fear, and sometimes just, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
your typical kid sometimes has no fear, but especially I think that some of those special needs kids that I have, they have absolutely no fear, and so don't always understand that consequence of, "Oh, when I don't listen to Miss Julie and I just decide I'm gonna jump in wherever I'm at, I can't touch my feet or touch the ground, and I don't know what to do."
Yep.
But then that's a good learning lesson, you know, too. We always go over all the rules of the pool, and that's one of them, but then when that happens, it's one of those, you know, you can't do that, and you have to understand that, so
I have one of those children that has no fear. He happens to be my youngest
Oh,
and my
okay,
boy,
yes.
and yeah. Yeah, and he's done that before when he was little and he just jumped into the pool. I feel like every mom probably has a story where some like not maybe not extreme, but a
Yeah,
baby or somebody like a toddler
yes.
jumped into the
Yep,
pool.
yeah.
Ugh. We were at a lake and my sister-in-law heard 2 year almost 3-year-old just jumped into the lake, thought he had his puddle jumper on and
Yes, I was gonna say with the puddle jumper and with the flotation devices and things like that, they're wonderful. I mean, and just, in my education experience, we always talk about different tools that you use as a teacher or you want your kids to use. Like in math, I remember when my now 20-year-old, and he just got engaged this weekend, but when he was in 2nd grade, he came home from a math class, and I taught in the same school he was, but he goes, "Mom, you'll never believe what we learned in math we can use for a tool." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "My fingers." And he was just so excited. Um, and so like I think of all of those flotation devices that we have for kids these days. You know, I mean, we have noodles, we have the puddle jumpers, we have flotation, actual life jackets that we have. We use what we call jet packs. I use those a lot. Like, I don't know if you've seen those. They're rectangular and they have their stacks. Um, and then you can take them off as the student becomes or as the child becomes more comfortable in the water. And all of those are
Mhm.
fantastic and are great tools. However, they also provide that false sense of security when a child does not, you know what I mean? Just
Right.
like you said, when you're like, oh, they thought they had that on and they don't.
Mhm.
So I think that there's definitely a
Right.
time and a place, and it's great to have those. Um, but just to help
Mhm.
your child know that when that's not on, you're not going to, you know what I mean? Just so that they have that idea of
Right.
what that is, what that's like. And I enjoy all of those different flotation devices for different purposes. You know, I mean, when we have a camper, and so when we're out at the lake, I think a life jacket is going to be your safest bet. You know what I mean? Just because that provides
Mhm.
more security. Now when I have when my granddaughter, just she's only been in once with Auntie Cameron this summer so far, but she has she had a puddle jumper that she actually would put on and wear this summer. She would not last year.
Mhm.
And so we did a lot of holding with her and things like that because you also don't want to traumatize them. Again, if you're on a boat, you are going to make sure that they have that life jacket on, you know, and things like that. But when you're there
Right.
and if you can hold them and provide them that security, then that's okay.
Mhm.
But the puddle jumper I think is great because kids tootle around the pool and they can move pretty much on their own. Most puddle jumpers though set them straight up and down. And so
Mhm.
to me, that's not the best way. You're not going to learn to swim swimming up and down. And so that's
Right.
with our jetpack that I use, both at the club and in my backyard. Um, it just straps on around their chest, and so
Mm,
it pitches them forward and it allows me to help them pitch themselves forward so that they need to get those feet behind them, their chin by the water.
mhm,
And also, like, I'll tip their hips so that, because it's not comfortable for a number of kids, they feel like they're going to fall over, but that's what they need to feel. And then, like I said, then as they become stronger swimmers, you can take off one of those layers. And it also, the puddle jumpers, when it has around the arm and the chest, it restricts some of that movement, where the jetpack just clips
right.
around and they have more ability to move their arms and do, like, with my young kids, I just call them scoops or dig. Ice cream is my Achilles heel.
Mhm.
I love ice cream, so that's why I was like,
Yeah.
"Do you guys like ice cream?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, so pretend you're scooping up your
Yeah.
biggest scoop of ice cream that you have." So we talk about scoops, we talk about having Barbie hands, so that they're together and not apart,
Mhm.
and talk about why that's important. Um, so just those basic skills to learn how to move through the water. And, like, I mean, going back to age,
Yep.
my granddaughter, she doesn't she doesn't completely understand what Nana means when, I mean, when she says all that, or when I say try and keep your legs straight, she's like, how am I supposed to keep my legs straight when you're asking me to kick? Because bicycling kicking is, a kid's
Right.
first
Mhm.
process of how that works.
Right.
So spend a lot of time also just helping kids develop that kick. Um, I mean, if you're daring in the bathtub, let them kick, both on their tummy and on their back. Or even, like, I tell
Yeah.
my swim kids, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you homework, and I want you to sit on the edge of the couch or the edge of the bed, and I just want you to sit on the edge and just try and kick your feet as straight as you can and as quick as you can, to just help develop that skill to be able to kick your feet,
Mhm.
because that's also, I mean, like, not only do you have a fear of getting on your back, but then your feet, if you don't push up your belly and kick your feet up so that they get to the top, I mean, there's a lot that goes
Right.
into that. So
I know. Yeah. I didn't do the puddle jumpers. I just did
yes,
the arm floaties, and I would gradually let
yes,
the
that's
air out
great.
of
Yeah,
the
yes,
floaties.
yep,
So that way. And the other thing that I learned, that my kids learned how to swim way faster than 3 years at swim lessons at
yeah,
like a franchise swim place, was like a vacation with a
yes,
pool. Like if we go to stayed at in Florida,
yes,
like a VRBO with a pool in the backyard, and we'd like all
yes,
the kids would be in the pool, and they'd have like, I mean, 1 week at a pool, my
yes,
kids learned how to swim
yes,
so fast because they're in
right,
there eight
right,
hours a day,
yes,
you know? And like all the adults are in there too. And yeah, we're all just hanging out in the pool, and they're just, I mean, that's when all my kids like finally
yes,
just it all
yes,
clicked
yeah,
right away. So, okay, so one of my weird things, I don't know if this was like, like, because ever since my kids have grown up, and maybe it's my algorithm, but when my kids were little, it was dry drowning was like my trigger.
yes.
Is that still like, is that a real, like, is that a real thing? Do people still talk about that?
It is, yes, it is a thing, and it's still talked about. I don't think that it's as well known, I mean, just, but it's one of those scary realities that you have to be cognizant of, and, I mean, I don't.
Just add to mom's stressors.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that we haven't talked about as far as a stressor, and something that I feel like as a mom or grandma that we can do, is the color of swimming suits, and I feel like that has kind of come
Mhm.
up a little bit more too.
Yes.
Um,
Uh-huh.
just it's crazy when you see how sometimes those swimsuits just do blend in with the water, or, I mean, especially at a lake when it's murky and all of that, just to
Right.
be cognizant of all of those pieces, that what can we
Mhm.
do as adults to help minimize, or help us be more aware also of that.
Right.
situation.
So what are your number one tips? So like the swimsuit color, what else?
Swimsuit color, um, knowing and helping your child know that no water without an adult, depending on their age. As they get older, probably your kids, I mean, no swimming without a buddy, um, because those are the, I mean, those are huge. And then to me, helping your child just be comfortable with having their face in the water and being able to get to their back. Those are really just the two pieces. Like I've even seen where teaching a kid to roll up in a ball and float face first, which I don't have a lot of kids who are willing to do that, but to have them do that so that they know that's a place where you could almost rest, kind of like when back in the day when I took swimming lessons. Oh, now I can't remember what it's called, but I want to say we called it the dead man float or something like that, where your arms and your legs kind of hung
Yep.
so that you could just relax for a little bit. Same concept is with that ball, so that if they're tired, they can just rest for a minute and then uncurl themselves, get to their back, and then be able to swim some more. Um,
Okay.
so, so yeah. But safety is just, swimming safety is just so important. Like you said, it touches so many lives. And I will say, kids at a young age can understand that how important swimmer safety is, though. My granddaughter, when she was in daycare, our health department has a program where they've come to the schools when I've been there before too, but they went to their daycare, and she came home and was talking about the importance of how it, I mean, you have to be with an adult and you have to
Mhm.
not be by yourself and all of those pieces. And so, and that was, I mean, she'll be 3 in August. So it was this spring. So, I mean, 2 years old, she understood that as a
Yeah.
2-year-old can, but to at least
Right.
start hearing that conversation and helping them
Mhm.
know that, I think is vital.
What age do you think like it's okay to like not watch your kids?
um,
Is that an unfair question? That's probably an unfair
I
question.
would say when my kids were teenagers, I wasn't out there all the time with them, at our pool, um, but I still never let them swim alone. Um, Now as adults, they do. I mean, as adults, as an
Right.
adult, I do. Um,
Right.
but I will be honest with you. I am old. I always tell kids in the school system, I'm old like a dinosaur old. Um, but so like even when my family is at the lake, or my kids are tubing, and like I said, they are 20 to 27 almost.
Mhm.
I'm nervous. And
Mhm.
I grew up, like I said, as a lifeguard. I grew up on the water. I've been around, I fish, I mean, I do all that,
Right.
but I just think it's because I'm so aware that
Mhm.
I just know what could happen in the blink of an eye, I
Right.
think. And it's not always you, I mean, just like everything, my dad always used to say when I would go off to drive somewhere, he'd always say, "Watch out for the other guy." So, like, you never know what that other person, that other thing, could happen, and so I think that that's why. So to answer your question, I definitely wouldn't until I don't know why I say teenagers, because sometimes some kids as a teenager are not as responsible as a 9-year-old. So you're gonna know your child too and that situation. Um, but it's just anxious. You know what I mean? It just makes me
I
anxious
know.
at any time.
I know. I know. We left the lake. Lake life is like my favorite thing in the whole world. I love it. We were just on a lake in Tennessee and for vacation, and I just left and just said so many prayers of Thanksgiving because it's just so stressful all
Yeah,
the time. Like,
yeah.
and husbands just don't get it. I don't know, maybe your husband does,
No.
but like
No.
I just every little thing. I
Yes.
cannot be around. And then what book did I just read? Oh, The Correspondent. Are you a reader at all?
Ugh, I have not read that book, but yes, I am an avid reader, yes.
Oh, okay. You need to read The Correspondent.
Okay, I will check it
Um,
out.
it's like all the she is like she's like an 83-year-old woman, and the whole book is her it's like she is a really firm believer in like the written word and like writing letters. So the whole book is just her letters to
Oh my
people,
gosh. That is my love
and like
language.
their
I would love
letters.
that book.
Yeah. Oh, you should, because the way you talk to like your sister is different than the way you talk to like your tax accountant, and it shows like all these different. Anyways, but that's the book.
Oh, I'll have to, yes.
So, anyways, I'm not going to tell you how that
Okay.
connects to what we're talking about, but
Okay.
anyways, it's
Yes.
really good. You should read it. Have you heard
Okay.
of it?
I will. No, I have not, but I am intrigued. Like I said, I am known for leaving notes all over for
Oh, then you'll love
all the,
this.
okay.
I love the way she. We're getting off topic, but the last
Yes,
thing I'll say,
sorry.
because something I'll always remember about that book is she talks about how like something that's lost now is like with written word, like all around the world you'll have like stories of yourself, like
Oh,
around the world, that
yes.
people can like connect to you and like know your story from like,
Ooh.
because you'll have your like letters to people,
Oh, I
and I
love
just think
that.
that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
So
yes. I'm okay.
anyways, you should
Noted.
read it.
Noted. Okay.
um what's your favorite book this summer?
Oh
Have
my
you read
gosh.
anything?
Well, I have multiple books going. Theo of Golden. So actually one of my swimming moms gave it to me. And she's her son. Oh, she's amazing in and of herself. He is autistic, but she has done everything that anyone has ever suggested for her, and he has
Mm,
come so far. Like, she is an advocate for some of my other swim parents, like, when she sees my other students and they're like, give them my information, I wanna help them, because she's like, "That was my son." And now he's going to be in 3rd grade, I think, 3rd or 4th grade, anyway, and he's articulate and he can do so much. Like, I'm a big encourager, and
yeah.
like when he was swimming, I'd be like, "Come on, you can do this. You can come on, keep going." And he eventually, and this was a couple years ago, so he was still pretty little, but she's taught him to advocate for himself, and he's like, "Miss Julie, you can't tell me what a good job I'm doing because my brain can't take that." So like he was telling me like I can't, and I was like, "Do you know how hard that is though?" But
Yeah.
anyway, no, she knows me well enough just from me working
Uh-huh.
with her child that she got me the Theo of Golden book, and she's like, "You have to
Mhm.
read this because this is something that is near and dear to your heart." And so
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that. And then as far as I just have a very eclectic book collection. I have
Mhm.
Nora Roberts going. I have
Mhm.
Amish fiction that I enjoy.
Uh-huh.
um,
Yep, I work at a bookstore here one day a week for fun, and so
oh
I
my
know
gosh.
every single book. Yeah, we have some Amish fiction, like, yeah,
Yeah.
we have some very avid
Um,
readers
yes, and
here.
I don't know. I never used to, and obviously we are very off topic, but I never liked to read. As a kid, I was one of those kids that I flew under the radar in school, and I always did really good in school, and was always like the Bluebird reading group, like the high reading group,
Mhm.
because I could
Mhm.
read and I sounded like I knew exactly what I was doing, but I remembered nothing. And so I
Yeah.
really didn't like to read for that reason. And then when I went down to Florida for my internship with Disney World, I had to take a children's lit class. And I don't
Mhm.
remember how many books I had to read, but like I had to read all these books.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
ever since then, like I thought it would turn me off, but it turned me on to
Yeah.
reading. And now it's almost like
Yes.
an addiction. I have a phone, or I have
I
a
know.
Kindle on my phone. And if I have
Mhm.
downtime, I have my book open and I'm reading
Same.
it. So
Yep. Yeah, same.
So, yeah, yeah. But
That's
I
awesome.
really quickly, and sorry, I don't mean to monopolize, but
Oh.
talking about water safety and things like that, when you do take your kids places, um,
Mhm.
and I think of the water park, just because what a fun place, and just
Mhm.
what I mean, Worlds of Fun is just close by, Oceans of Fun.
Mhm.
And I know that there's, so many pools now have little water slides or the
Mhm.
floating river, the lazy river, whatever. So I feel it's always extremely important, like we said, to always be with someone. But when you are at a park like that, how easy it is to just get separated and how
Mhm.
scary that is. That was always, I mean, to be a lifeguard at Disney was fantastic and was amazing. I was at Typhoon Lagoon, and when I was there, I did my stint was from January to June, and there were icicles on their Tilly, which is their ship that got shipwrecked at their
Yeah.
thing. And like they were all like, "Oh my gosh, look, it's ice." And I'm like, "Guys, I'm from Nebraska. Come on, there's
Yeah, that's
nothing.
not
It's not
ice.
that big of a deal." But anyway, but just how scary it is. You know what I mean? Those parents who came up to you and was like, "Oh, I can't find," you know what I mean? I know that they were
Mhm.
just here, and generally they were, you know what I mean? You could find them,
Mhm.
but just again, that
Mhm.
sinking feeling of, oh, what
Yeah.
could happen? So, and in those situations, life jacket, puddle jumper, you know what I mean? Even
Mm,
if you have a
mhm.
strong swimmer, yes, but yeah, you just
Do you
can't
have
take the chance.
any, advice on how to know or like know a good lifeguard from someone who's not paying attention or not a good lifeguard?
Uh, well,
Are there key details that we can look for?
to see that they are attentive on the stand and they
Mhm.
are, now I wouldn't say that you have to be standing by any means, but I know like when when again going back to Typhoon Lagoon, when the waves would come on, we were
Uh-huh.
required to stand up and scan our area, just because when you're sitting, you're more complacent, you can't see everything. But when you're at
Right.
the like at the pool, and I think of, oh my gosh, I had just turned 14 when I was a lifeguard. Um,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, wow, I was in charge of kids'
Right.
lives. You know what I mean? Those kids, and
Yeah.
back in back in the day of the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s when I was there, you know what I mean, parents, they were kids there by themselves, ride your bike and you're just there. And I think of just how much responsibility that was and that is.
Mhm.
So as a parent, to watch those lifeguards and see if they are truly paying attention, and
Mhm.
I I know that you don't ever want to, you know, in school, I always you talk about tattletales versus telling and reporting. So
Mhm.
as a parent, like if you truly see a lifeguard who you've seen that is not paying attention, I would go to their supervisor and again, approach it with kindness, approach it with concern, but just
Right.
say, "Hey, I noticed that they were, you know what I mean, kind of off, and I'm
Mhm.
just concerned and just want to bring that to your attention."
Right.
Um,
Right.
and I just feel that, I mean, just because, I mean, wouldn't you feel awful if something happened
Yeah.
and you hadn't
Yeah.
said something? So,
Right.
I mean, you
Right.
don't wanna be that person, but at the same token, you don't wanna be someone who could
Right.
have
It's
prevented an
not just a
accident,
little
so,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. This is such an important topic, and I'm just really glad you're here to speak wisdom into this and help some moms out today because it's stressful and it's a
Of
lot.
course.
So,
Yes,
um,
yes.
if you're in the Missouri area, the St. Joseph's, yeah,
Yep, St. Joseph
yeah,
and Savannah area, yes.
yeah, you're check Julie out.
Yes, yes,
So,
please do, please do.
and sounds like if they're your special ed, like that's like your niche.
Yes, yes, it
That's
is.
pretty cool. I feel like I could have just a podcast with you talking about that stuff because I feel
Uh,
like that's really cool.
yes,
So,
yes, that's near and dear to my heart, so,
yeah.
yep,
Well, I might have to have you on again to talk about that.
okay.
So,
Well, I would love
well,
that,
thanks,
so,
Julie. Thanks for being
yes,
here.
thank you so much, I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Rooted Conversations. I hope this episode reminded you that you're growing. You're growing a strong family and you're growing as a parent. One moment, one choice, and one hug at a time. I'll see you next time.